You not being in shape has nothing to do with nutrition. It has nothing to do with your workouts. That information you can get absolutely anywhere. It's the way you perceive getting into shape that's holding you back. Because you look at it as just building a body. You don't look at it from the lens of how is this going to change my entire life? What is this going to do for me? Those habits that I build, how can I use them in every other aspect of my life? You think about it as just the physical. Well, let me tell you something. You become mentally jacked before you become physically jacked. And if you don't do that, then you're going to fail. Why? Because a lot of you have this mentality that I'm going to go ahead and instill those good habits once I become that person. That's not how it works. Do you think that that person got to where he's at right now by instilling your bad habits? Absolutely not. That person used to be exactly like you and was in the same position you're in right now. What did they do? They became that new version of themselves mentally before they became it physically. And it all relates back to this idea of consistency compounds. Doing one thing a couple of times probably won't get you any results. It's doing something for a certain amount of time that will generate the results that you want. So let's put that in the lens of getting into shape. When you become the man in your mind first, you start to act like that man. You instill the habits of that man, and you do that consistently. Over time, you will physically become that man. And what does this do for you? Is it just a body? No. It's a complete 360 in your identity. Once you start seeing getting into shape as an identity shift, that's when your whole world will start to change, because getting into shape builds character. And I'm the biggest advocate of, if you want to be successful in anything, no matter what it is, go get into shape first. Go learn how to take care of your body first. Because how do you become successful? How do you become better? Through suffering. And one of the biggest sufferings you can go through is getting into shape. Why? Because on those days that you don't want to go to the gym, you still show up. When it hurts, you keep pushing. When it's very easy to eat the low quality processed foods that you enjoy so much because of the ingredients that they put in it, that make you addicted to it, that give you that dopamine release, you ignore it. You eat the whole foods. Why? Because you know in the long term, that's going to do you better than anything else. Because let me tell you something, consistency, a big part of that is fueling yourself properly. How are you going to show up and put in the work if your body feels sluggish, if you feel fatigued, if you feel tired? You need to start eating like the man that you want to become. You think the best version of yourself is eating McDonald's 3 times a week? You think he's laid up on the couch eating Fritos, playing video games when he's supposed to be at the gym? Absolutely not. I'm not saying you have to be one of these motivational guys all the time who can't let loose, because that's not what it is either. But the majority of the time, you need to have standards. Regardless of what the world is doing, what are you doing? Once you build that body, I'm telling you, nobody can take that away from you, because it's not about having the best physique, because I promise you, you don't have the best physique. There's somebody that looks better than you. There's somebody that's bigger than you. There's somebody that's leaner than you. But that's not the point. That discipline, that persistence, that trust that you build with yourself, you can apply that to every single part of your life. How do you expect to take care of everything else if you can't even take care of yourself? You want more, yet you can't deal with what you already have. You see how our perspectives are way different? You're thinking about it as, oh, I just want to lose body fat. I just want to build a lean muscular physique because I want to look good in photos. I see it as, I want to get into shape to change my life, to carry myself a certain way, to have confidence when I walk into a room, to be respected and to also be respectable, to be able to take care of the people around me, to honor God by taking care of what he has already given me. Do you think God is going to give you more if you can't handle what you already have? A lot of you sit there and wonder, well, why am I not successful in this business I'm trying to run? Why am I not successful in this career I'm going after, this degree, whatever it might be? But you're out of shape. But you eat like garbage. But you don't go outside and get some sunlight. You're not active. You're sedentary. And then you wonder why you're not successful in everything else. Well, maybe it's because your habits are dragging you down. You're drinking juice first thing in the morning. The first thing you put into your mouth is a honey bun from the store. Your source of protein is a PB&J sandwich for lunch or a ham and cheese sandwich. What does that say about you? If you came here and your goal is just, I want to look better for myself, but you fuel yourself with garbage, it shows that you have no self-respect because you don't mind looking all good on the outside for the rest of the world to see. But you know your internals are suffering, but you don't care because you look good, right? You have no self-respect. And I say this so strongly because I used to be the same person. All I chased was looks. I was so insecure about the person that I was. I felt inferior to the world that I thought changing my looks would be everything, that it would solve all my problems. And guess what? When I did, it only led me deeper into the rabbit hole. It only made me shallow. It made me nitpick at myself even more. Why? Because while I was working on the physical, that's all I was focused on. I wasn't focused on developing my mind more. I wasn't focused on fueling my body right. I wasn't focused on having a better character development when it came to my relationships with people in the outside world, when it came to prioritizing my family and prioritizing God. I didn't do any of that. So I'm telling you right now, I'm warning you. Sit down with yourself and truly ask yourself, why am I getting into shape? Is it simply because I want to look better for the IG post? Is this simply because I want to sleep around with women because now I look better, I have the body, they're going to desire me and want me more? Or is it because I want to become a better me? I want to become that version of myself that people respect, that I respect, that God can look down and be proud of? Or is it strictly because of vanity? So I say this to you heart to heart. Sit down with yourself and reflect. And once you reflect and shift your mindset into reconstructing your identity, you will get into shape, no problem. I promise you that. Do things with the right intentions. Put in the work, they'll happen for you. Do things with the wrong intentions. Yeah, maybe you still get the result, but I promise you'll still feel empty inside. With that being said, I hope this video helped at least one person out. And if it did, make sure you drop a comment. But besides that, if you're ready to transform your physique for the summer for the right reasons, there's a link down below to work one-on-one with me. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe.